So here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone here in the chat to Food for Thought. And who would have thought that we got a guest on? We got a special guest on. And I didn't put anything up, but I'm so happy to see him again here on our screen. And I probably think you guys as well. The Craig Master. So welcome.
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me. And my apologies for saying yes, I could, no, I couldn't, and then eventually being able to come on, which made the reason why you couldn't put my name on. So my apologies.
No
Dan.
problem, eh? That's the power of change, Changed in the last second, to be honest. I put his name up in the text in the last second. So welcome everyone here in the chat. You've already been early birds today. So let's see who's in the house. It's Craig, and we got Denise Pearson. We got Black Dog Walks, and Black Dog Walks is the new name for the flying trucker. Yes.
All right, yeah.
Right. So I assume you have a black dog that you walk. Let us know in the chat.
or not. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just
I've got a black dog sitting next to me. And we got Ian at home and Ian on screen. How about that? Hello, Ian.
Hiya.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Just sitting looking at this horrible night out there. It is absolutely pouring down.
It doesn't look it. It looks like a calm shore, to be honest, right behind you.
Yes, that was taken one of the last days I was out. that was one of the good days.
The good days. It's always good days. And we got in the chat, we also got Anne-Marie Elton. Hello, hello, hello. And thanks for supporting, of course. Thumbs up. And who else is it in the house? We also got Derek Walker. We got David Butler. We got David Butler again. David Longdon. And Michael McGuinness, the Mind Coach. Hello and welcome. And Northman Tenerife. Hello, hello, Steve. Emma Kelly. Hi, Emma. You are new. Thanks. And I hope you enjoy this. We're doing this every first Wednesday of the month. Together with the old crew of the Balcony Banter, Tim and Christine. So welcome here. And of course, we always got Ian in the house and myself, and we talk about the topic around personal development, personal growth, inner work. That's what we are focused on a lot. And of course, change and transition. So the topic of tonight, of course, a great topic. And it was suggested by Ian, actually, the power of change. So we're gonna have the usual discussion. We open up and I would like to know from you in the chat. Maybe you can type in the chat. Let us know a little bit about your biggest changes in life. What was the most impactful change that you've had in your life? Was it a huge change, or are you more into small changes? Are you someone who loves and embraces change? Just let us know a little bit in the chat, and we will chat amongst us first of all. So let's start. Ian, let's start with you. Yes. How did you come about this topic? You mentioned it a while ago to me, and I thought, yeah, that's a great topic. It covers a lot of what we have been talking in all our food for thought topics. So let us know.
Yeah, it's just what you said there. Something that we've been talking about going back over the months. And going back probably over the years, and things, how things change, how things move on. And as was said one of the last times there, it's actually the power the power in your mind, it's behind it. What does the power of change actually mean? You think about it. It's the ability. We all have to change your present lifestyle. It's all about changing your lifestyle. You want to probably want on to move on to a new lifestyle, maybe a better lifestyle than what you've got at the moment. It could be something in your personal life that you want to change. It could be something in your business life that you're looking forward uh, for the future. Maybe something to make your life a wee bit more easier, or something that people want out of their business. Something that we spoke about many shows ago, and it always keeps coming, keeps cropping up. Is people in their comfort zone, and to a lot of people, that's their happy place, being in their comfort zone. But after a while, what does yourself say? What do you start thinking about yourself? I've been here long enough. Think about your potential that you've maybe got. You maybe say, wait a minute, I can do that. You just have to do, you just sit and a wee thought. You probably say, oh, I can do that better. I need to change. So there's the start. You've initiated yourself at the start, the change. You've got
And
the
you
power.
are a great example of this, huh? You are a fantastic. Look at you. I mean, you changed a lot. I mean, and everyone here in the chat right now can probably confirm this. So I'm just gonna go through a few of your comments. There are great ones I read already. Michael says the measure of intelligence is the ability to change, by Albert Einstein. Yeah, true that. Very true. And always a good one. And Einstein one, very smart man, right? And then Steve says, not many people can easily change. They are generally resistant. But when they do make such a change, find it is better and wish they had done years ago. I guess it's the unknown. Yes, exactly. The comfort zone, as Ian was saying, the comfort zone is very comfortable. And yeah, and then again, once you dare to do that step and have that leap of faith, I guess then that becomes the new norm, the new one. And I mean, here we got our guest, Dan. You are a perfect example of change, whether it being in your personal life. We have talked so many times, and you shared with us your own stories in your personal life, but also. And I would like to mention that you are a perfect example of changing also in when it comes to business. As Ian was mentioning business as well, I think you have always got something new on the go, and you're quite comfortable to change. So you are not stuck there in the comfort zone, but you are very flexible. And yeah, let us know a little bit about your new adventures and ventures.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've always kind of, since, I've shared my story of recovery and learning to change my life for positive um, on the recovery basis of things, like where, changing, the way I lived my life and the things in my personal life and the way I treat people and the way I treat myself and stuff like that. That ability to come from nothing, I guess, like where I was broken spiritually, mentally, and physically, and had nothing, like barely even had decent shoes on my feet, to kind of know that as long as I have my mental health, that's the worst it can get to. So it takes away, I guess, the fear of taking a leap of faith. I've seen someone say that exact words in their comments there, a leap of faith. I think it was Denise. I think it was Denise Pearson that said it there in her comments. She said the words a leap of faith. Sometimes that's what it takes to make the change, because you don't know what that change will result in. So like when I take, like I've opened a few businesses, different businesses over the years of my life, and I have 3 different businesses here on the island at the moment.
Wow.
And, you know, but it takes a leap of faith, and it takes, it could have gone it could have gone many ways. It could have gone terribly wrong. I mean, if you look at lockdown, I was very close to losing everything, you know. I was literally funding my business in the end, using my credit cards to try and keep it open, you know, because I had the faith of we would come back, you know, and really kind of going out. If people remember back in the days of the McMaster being here and promoting myself on YouTube with Lee and hanging out with Lee and doing the excursions. And I would never have seen it evolve, but I took leaps of faith, opened new business, tried new things, and, you know, financially it's paid off on many levels, in rewards of seeing people, you know, in my life and then the businesses around me, them succeed alongside me. It's been fantastic as well. And it takes change and the ability to change and the ability to evolve as different things present themselves. Because if you're stuck in one way, you'll generally struggle with moving on, succeeding. So, for example, obviously I was very much anti TikTok, for example. I didn't really get into TikTok. For me, it was like I didn't think it was a good thing at all. And I was convinced by my friend and another guy to, you know, why are you so resistant? And I said, because I don't think we're a TikTok. And they, you know, said, let's try it. So I tried it, and, you know, it brought my business to another level, TikTok, you know, and being on TikTok and being open to ideas and really being open to like people within the business's ideas. So when they come to you with an idea, not just shutting it down because it's something you don't agree with, but being open. I'm not saying take on board everything someone says, because sometimes it could be absolute nonsense. But like actually listening, going, well, actually, you know, that's a really good idea. Maybe we should try it, and having the courage to take a leap of faith and try it. And we've done that on many levels within the business. We've tried new things, tried new ideas, and it could have gone one or two ways. And, you know, luckily enough for me, it's gone the right way. But I've had businesses in Ireland that have failed, but I took the risk, you know, but I don't have a fear. So basically the one thing I say is I don't have a fear today of losing everything that I have financially. Like if I lost my car, my businesses, everything like that. The only thing I fear is, I'll be honest with you, the loss for people that work in the company, if they lost their jobs and stuff. That would be my biggest fear for them personally. For me, I know that if it went down to the place where I was the day I came into recovery, where I had just the clothes on my back and, you know, feck all, and no spiritual, mental or physical good place, which I have now, I certainly wouldn't let the loss of physical external things take away that peace of mind, because you know, they don't give me the peace of mind. They're nice to have, but they really don't. I don't rely on my happiness. So I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid of taking risks. I'm not afraid of falling flat on my face, because I know I can pick myself up again, if that makes sense.
That's good. Yeah. And you mentioned spiritual work. How we've talked about this a lot. And I know it is important to you, and it has brought you to higher levels and to bigger goals and to less fear. Did that help you find strength and taking that leap of faith, spiritual practice?
100%. I was like, so spiritual practice it's a very strong statement, spiritual practice, because you could say spiritual practice is praying once a day, or you could say spiritual practice is meditating, but I believe spiritual practice is more than just that. So spiritual practice for me is I meditate, silent meditation every morning. That's the small part of my spiritual practice, but it's a very important and integral part, because I remember my sponsor saying to me years ago, he says talk to me, and then I talk, and then he'd talk over me, and I'd be like, what are you doing? He says, no, try to talk to me again. Talk over me again. And And then he talked over me, so I couldn't talk. I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Now imagine that when you're praying or talking to whatever you believe is your higher power. If you don't believe in higher power, it's cool too. But you're talking to them. So in order to listen, you need to still your mind. So you're not talking. So and I'm saying every time I meditate, I have a still mind. But when I'm meditating, I'm listening to the message I need to hear. So I find during the day, the decisions that I have to make clearly and correctly and in a spiritual manner present themselves way more clearly because of the continuous meditation I do every day.
Yeah.
And the practice isn't just that. The practice of spirituality for me is also, for example, like the companies that I work with know that I will always pay honestly and straight up and pay on time and not mess people around for money. When I have an invoice comes in, and if I see that they are saying there's a ticket not correct or something like that, I will always say that that's not correct, because my spirituality starts with how honest I am with myself and with the people, and how honest I am when the people aren't around, and that's really what I try. I try and keep rigorous honesty in my life, with the people that I work with the people that I live with all the things in my life, because if I start letting those little things creep in, they grow and they grow and grow, and spirituality goes out the window. So I think spirituality is not just the practices, but also how you conduct yourself in your life.
Yes, absolutely, and it brings a mental order. Like you said, the daily routine to actually do the practice, to do the inner work every day, and to sit down and try to download some messages, and shutting down the little voices that take you either back to the past or way forward to the future. They are racing and battling constantly. So that practice is bringing you back to the now. And there's this wonderful book as well, speaking of the power of change, the power of now by Eckhart Tolle. That is the action point, so to say. The action point is the moment, the present moment, the now. And we cannot act in the past, we cannot act in the future. It's only in the now that we can make the right decisions, or better decisions, more maybe moral decisions. As you said, that it also is for you to guide you how you conduct life, how you behave towards yourself and towards others, and how you talk to them and to yourself, of course. Are you cheering yourself up? Are you cheering your team up at work, and so on and so forth? Or are you putting thumbs down and lowering the vibe? So yeah, I mean,
Julie, what you're actually saying there is, self preservation has a powerful influence on your behaviour. I think if you believe you're average, okay, you'll act average. I discovered both the Bible and psychology prove this to be true. And there's a line in the Bible that says that you become what you think of yourself. If you think you are capable of doing something, you go for it. Research, on the other hand, reports that choices are largely based on how you identify yourself, how you treat yourself, how you look to others, and how others see you. You mentioned it there, Dan. You check everything. You like to see everything done in an order. Yeah. I think the first to get there, the first steps, you have to get your thinking in gear. if you did get your thinking in gear and what you want to achieve at the end of it, get your mindset right. As I said before, if you got the ability to do this, go for it. If you need more information on what you want to achieve, go and seek it. Go and speak to somebody. Speak to somebody that's maybe already involved in something. Get some information from them. It helps you to make that change. I mean, we spoke about a while ago, I spoke about it tonight actually, the comfort zone. You have to go through what they call a fear zone, but you want to keep that fear zone as narrow as possible. You want to jump from a comfort zone into a learning zone. Learn what you want to do to get into your growth, to grow yourself.
Yeah.
That's basically my thoughts on it. That's how I work myself. I plan myself. I have my thoughts, I plan them, and that makes me move on.
I can confirm that. Yes, and there are different ways how you can go about it. I mean, if you are someone who likes to stick to a calendar, or who loves to jot it down in agendas, then that's how you work, and that's what works for you. So it's adjusting that. Tim and Chris, I know you guys have changed a lot, and not only in lifestyle. We've talked about that many times, how you decided to come to Tenerife, but also within the time span that you've been living on the island. What would you say is the biggest change that you have actually had here on the island while living here? Oh, we cannot hear you. I don't know if that's the change. That's a Tim joke.
Can you mime what you need to say, like
Yeah.
Can my lip read?
TV show,
I cannot do
2
mind reading
words?
yet. You can teach me. Like
Well, you could do like film, 2
next time,
words, 2
Tim is,
syllables.
Tim is teaching me a mental illusion.
Okay. I can
I can hear you.
Oh, now.
I stood up and sat down and it worked.
Faulty towers. It's happening. The cable. Yes, that's exactly what happens if we are not plugged into the source. Then we are disconnected and we are deviating to past or future and racing and are not connected to the source.
I have
So-
a visual contact.
But now he is connected to the source, to you guys and to us.
Problem.
Hello, Tim.
I think I'll just change my voice.
So the easiest way to do this is to just change the voice. And you don't like this one? Okay, what about you?
No.
You sound like. You hear me? Okay, like a little bit behind.
I love it.
Basically, I've got a wackel contact on my cable. I
A
apologize.
wackel contact.
Wackel contact, yeah. You know what a wackel contact is.
Na klar weiß ich das.
I don't even know what it is. A loose connection? Loose connection.
Yeah.
So the biggest change since we've been on the island is the rent went up.
Yeah.
And it went up drastically, like a third, over a third, in fact. What else have I seen on the island that's changed? Nothing much really for us. Oh, a big change last October I retired and ended up getting a pension from Germany. So we are more financially stable now than we were before. Those are two good changes, right?
Yeah.
Been to the doctor today and they said everything's fine. Then I took my blood sugar, which I've never done before. And they said, oh, just start looking at it, just make sure it doesn't go over 200. And it was 278 and I panicked.
Ooh.
And they said, oh, don't worry about it. You can do 5 days before you die. And I'm like, oh, no.
You're too sweet.
I'm just too sweet, yeah. So,
So you
I've got health problems.
we're
that I didn't
talking about external changes, things that actually happen to you. Were there things
Actually,
that you initiated?
No, nothing happens to me.
No, I mean, like,
I'm
well,
not affected by the external world.
those are changes that we all evidence, and obviously external changes happen to us all the time.
Yeah, but they do, but they don't happen to me, if you know what I mean. They're either expected or unexpected changes, but I don't take it on board as if it's happening to me. I realize the world's chaos and that things change, and accepting change is the very first thing you need to do to be able to overcome the results of a change, because a change doesn't really affect you, but maybe the things that happen after the change. The change is a sort of a pivot point, yeah. And at the pivot point, you can neither help it or hinder it. So therefore, why worry about it? And then the things that cascade on after that are things that that are beyond your control. So forget them, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned some good points, like why worry? Worry is not using the force in the right sense, basically. So let me just, because you are bombarding us, which is really, really good, with great comments here. Let me read a few. All things Tenerife and more. Hello. All sometimes change is forced upon us. When you are so down mentally and physically, it forces you to stand up for your fears. Yes, I just read before an hour before I came on. I read something that like your lowest point, or like rock bottom, as some people like to call it, is actually quite useful as long as we don't remain in rock bottom. And I found that quite interesting and quite good, actually, because yes, that's sort of spiritual awakenings. They can lead us to great heights as well, because it forces us to actually change something internally, and that always goes with inner work, with accepting and then taking the next steps, whether the leap of faith or sticking to it. Yeah, so let me read a few more. Daniel is a perfect example of changing his life and a true inspiration to others. He deserves every success going forward and has to be admired. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Thank you very much. Not everyone would say that, but thank you.
Oh, hi, Dan, by the way. Sorry we were late.
Hiya, say hi, Christine. Apologies about apologies about the cables. The cables are sitting there now. My apologies. I'm just thinking about that when you came in. I felt awful bad the other day you came in, you weren't there.
Oh, there are so many good comments. Okay, all right. So Emma's saying, caring for my husband with dementia was a big change, but it's a new challenge with love. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Emma, for sharing. Thank you. And yes, I do feel you. I don't know, as you are new to this channel, you might not know, others will know. I've shared it a couple of times that Yes, my dad, he had dementia. He passed away in 2019, and it was yeah, a long time. My mom taking care of him, so that required a lot of change in personal attitude, a lot of inner work, and a lot of patience. So I feel you, Emma. I really do. Huh? So changing, and it's not like they say. You know someone with dementia. You don't know everyone, because that disease is so different to every individual patient. So yeah, whatever stage is coming up, uh, embracing it and working on patience, I guess, is key in that. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that.
There's
Then,
one Julianne from Mary Pie, is it?
ooh,
I'll take that
where?
one you've got up.
Um, don't see it right now.
It's quite far back actually.
Far back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Marie.
Yep. Marie Pie, is it?
Marie Pie. Marie
Yep.
Pie.
BYE. I could read it actually.
Yes. Thank you, Ian. Because I
The big
don't see it right now.
Yeah, you're
It's too
okay.
far back.
The biggest change I had was the loss of my husband, and I agree with the honesty. Don't like being lied to, but I did find Tenerife so something good. She actually got a relief being Tenerife. It was a relief for her to come to Tenerife.
Yeah.
That even rhymes. A relief in Tenerife. You know?
Exactly. Yes, that island has a lot of power actually, and it's not the first one saying this. It has a lot of attraction. I don't know if it has to do with the volcano and the sea and all of that, but it has something magical.
Uh, yeah,
Absolutely.
I could add to that actually. You just mentioned Tenerife. I mean, we people going on holiday and that we never ever thought about Tenerife. My daughter and her husband came out to Tenerife one year or a good number of years ago, and she came back and she said, "Dad, you'll love it out there. Uh, everything is good. That's so laid back." At that particular time that she was out, we went out, and yes, we fell in love with the island. Um, the climate is great. I find the people is great. Everybody that we have met, whether it's anything to do with our chat, we have made many friends in
Mhm.
Tenerife. Tenerife does have an attraction. I think for many people, um, people with small disabilities, it is a
Mhm.
relief to them to get out to the sun and to the change in climate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Now I just found it.
That's it. Yes.
Maria Pie. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And Christine, I mean, you have enjoyed the time here on the islands ever since you came here, right?
Yeah,
Um, what was the biggest change for you? What would you say in the time period that you are here right now?
it's just so relaxed, everything. Nobody gives
Be
a
careful. Just a minute.
You can say it. Say it. Say it.
nobody gives a
Who? All right. Yeah.
and
And
people
then,
are not friendly.
yeah,
They're not like in Germany where I just grummel all the time.
Krummel, Krummel. Yeah. Yes, I mean the weather, of course, is something that that suits you better here, right?
To see the sun on a daily basis, that's such a big difference in mood.
Mood, yes, yeah. Do you evidence a lot of mood changes and mood swings since you're on the island, or what did you have that more in Germany?
I had that ball in Germany.
Yeah.
She's only got one mood now, and that's really angry.
Really nasty.
Really nice.
She's only getting angry and hangry when the food is not on the table.
Oh, I've cooked already. We're having roasted vegetable wrap with Philadelphia cheese and cheddar on top.
Yep. Delicious as
Sounds
always.
good.
Sounds good. Yes, absolutely.
Julianne, there's a small comment there from Tricia Slater.
Yes,
Can you
I
get
think
that
I
one
got
up?
it there.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
people when people in your life leave you or die, that change is impossible.
Yeah.
I think for many people, that change could be impossible. I was in a situation where somebody left me, and eventually I had to make the decision. I had to make a change. It sometimes it is a difficult thing to do. I made the change, but I kept the memories. Why did I make the change? I didn't want to be stuck in, put it plainly, I didn't want to be stuck in the rut. I had to decide myself, I had to move on. So I made the decision, I made the change.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I made the change.
Yeah. So you don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it. But as I said, some people may find it quite difficult.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think you have to be brave enough, probably to sit, think about it, and think what you want in your future life and your
Yeah.
way forward.
Yeah.
It's what I was talking about before. It's an art of accepting. You know, you always hear that something happens and people say, "Why me?" or "Why him?" or "Why her?" and try and put meaning into the things that happen around you. And when you realize there is probably no meaning whatsoever, or the meaning that may be apparent is it's not worth thinking about, because if you realize that we're living on a little planet in the middle of a massive universe that we can't even imagine, you know, then our problems are so small. I know they feel big, and I don't want to reduce anybody's problem to a minuscule point. But if you do that yourself, if you realize that your problems are reduced to a minuscule point, and that if you're happy in your skin, if you like, at this moment in time, talking to you guys, then that's what you concentrate on. Don't worry about the thing that you've got to go back to, or the thing that's happened that you when you're alone, it comes and you worry about it. So just live for the moment, as we say, and realize that it is life is unfair. And if you accept that, then the changes become like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, there are some good points there that you made. Sort of like the backwards law.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you think you live in a deterministic universe where everything's planned out and there's a plan, then obviously you're going to have problems, because
Yeah.
the plan doesn't your plan. But if you really there's no plan, then nothing's a problem.
Yeah,
Just
and
make sure you treat people with kindness. Basically the Christian tenets of do unto others as you would have them do to you.
And it's what you were saying, Tim, the accepting that it's constantly changing, and maybe also one thing when we tend to say, and we don't really like the change that is maybe felt like as if it was imposed upon us and we cannot do anything about it, that we were not the ones seeking that change, then I usually like to ask myself the question, is this done to me or is it done for me actually? What is in for me for learning out of this change? Because that shifts the mental attitude towards changing.
I
And
understand,
then
but what you're putting yourself in the middle of the thing that's changing, whereby the thing that changes doesn't even know you exist.
No, of course.
To do with you,
Yeah.
Like one of the things I think is this that makes life generally easier is to come to the realization that nothing in life is permanent. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You own nothing. You control nothing. You can make decisions in your life, but you certainly don't. Like, so if I look at, okay, I have a nice car downstairs, not permanent. I'm going to die someday, and that's going to be gone. Or it could be taken, or I could lose everything. But nothing in my life's permanent. And the point about death and loss, I've had relationships end in my life. People leave me. My father and mother died in the last 2 years, which was like that father very recently, which has been very, very painful. And I can't change that. And I don't look at it as poor me or anything like that. The things I can change is how I deal with that. Yeah. So my mother, when she died, I really went into a dark place. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Sahar was actually, contemplating leaving me because she couldn't live with me anymore. I stopped talking. I started watching Netflix and working and just disconnecting from everyone and just in a dark place. And that was for about nearly 6 months where I was just full of anger and hurt. And I had to say to myself, right, this is going, like, I'll never forget the day I was like in the house and Sarah came home and I said I was starting counselling. So I started grief counselling, yeah. And she came home and it was the first time I just broke down crying in front of her. And I said, I miss my mother so much, like, and when I say now, I well up as well, but I had to get grief counselling to get through that. And it was one of the best things to kind of break me down to release the sadness of the loss of my mother. And when my dad died, I dealt with the process a lot differently because I learned from the previous process. It was different anyways. They both died of cancer, unfortunately, and I was there for their last moments of their life, and I could be there to hold my father's hand. And but I struggled being around my mother when she was dying. But with my father, I made myself do something, which was I sat with my dad and I asked him to tell me about his life, his childhood, my childhood, his time with my mother, and I recorded it all. And he knew obviously that I was recording it, so I have a memory of him and stuff. And it was a change of the way I dealt with it. I made it something that we could do together and connect, and he could share his life, so I'd have a memory with him. And when he passed, I the first thing I said to Sahara says, I need to get counselling as soon as possible so I don't go down into that dark place. So it's like we cannot change these situations, but we can figure a way to change how we process this information and how we deal with the situations when they arise. Similar, I'll finish on this one thing, similar to when I had my first relationship breakup. I was with the lady 7 years. I was 26 or something, 27. I'd been with her from my 20s. And for me, it was like the end of the world. You know, I didn't want to live anymore and all this sort of stuff. And my sponsor taught me a process. He says, imagine this person has died. That's what's happened to us. It's like the end. But with a death, you can have a funeral, yeah. And the only problem is you get to see her ghost wander around because she's no longer part of your life anymore. But you've not processed it, so you need to figure a way of processing it. Mm-hmm. So what I learned a way of, like, with that particular one, I put all the photographs of her into a box, because back then it wasn't phones on your phone, it was physical photographs. I wrote a letter thanking her for the time we had together and wishing her the best of luck, and had my own little funeral for the end of the relationship, to close the door and say thank you. And it allowed me to process that ending in a certain way. And that's change with a thing that's presented to you that you really don't have much control of. And you know, I think that's a huge part of learning in life, is how to deal with those changes that are forced upon you, and it's how you process them. And it's really in your hands how you choose to do that. And a lot of the times you can't do it alone. You need to seek outside help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I love that.
That makes sense.
I love that, especially with the letter. This is such a great advice, actually. In any situation where you feel grief, or you need to shift some kind of trauma, and that is still moving, and it's moving around in every inch of your body. It's actually taking on physical form, so to say. So that needs to be processed, and a very good way is a letter, writing that down, and even releasing. It's about releasing this energy that is stuck and becomes somatic issue as well, if it gets into your body, and then that energy needs to be let out. If need be, cry, scream, just releasing it. It's always good, and you feel much better after. Zelda says, agree with Ian. Losing close family members is traumatic, but you have to move on and accept. Life is short and needs to be lived. Yes, exactly. And the higher we can vibe and put us back to what is our natural state, that is what who we are. We always talk about fear and love, and we are love as human beings. We came on this planet as a quietschfidel baby, like a little baby that was so happy to be there, and then we gradually learn fear, and that's unnatural to us, actually. So it makes sense, even after a loss, allowing yourself to feel joy again, because that's our natural state. And
fear was an emotion that we evolved to stay safe, to not be eaten, not to fall off a cliff, that type of thing. But because we live in a society now where we're mollycoddled, then all the fear is to do with emotions, to do with things that really can't harm you physically, but can harm you mentally. So it's very hard to let go of fear if you want to hang on to it. And the only way you can let go of fear is to, people say, face your fear, right? And that's one way of doing it. But if you realize that fear is an emotion that your body needs to do a particular thing to keep itself safe, then if you feel safe, then the fear goes away, because you can laugh in the face of a fear that isn't going to affect you physically.
Yes. Yes. I mean, like you said, fear to a certain degree has been useful to us in our human evolution, of course. And even now, it's working with what we've known already. Maybe that didn't work, or that makes us burn ourselves, or yeah, I mean, that's law. Either we work with it or against it. um, but yes, exactly, coming out of that fear, and keeping evolving and looking for new ways is our only way. Anne Marie says, Trisha, it can be very difficult to accept change when someone leaves or passes away, but you have still managed to go to Tenerife on your own despite your treatment, and we think you are great. Yes, Trisha, I met you only briefly, really, really briefly, but I thought you were a lovely lady, and very, very tough cookie, actually, to be walking with a crowd in your crutches, on your crutches. I think that made it, and actually. That's something to embrace, the good vibes that you got off your Tenerife friends here, and Anne Marie. I mean, she and David and a few others are a very uplifting crowd. So that's good
Shout out to the
company.
Tenerife Friends Facebook group.
Yes, exactly. Check that one out. It's growing. And yes, this is exactly what we were saying earlier on about environment, I think. That's a conducive environment, some uplifting, supportive environment. When making changes, you want to surround yourself with people who are uplifting, who take you to the next level, and who encourage you on your way, on your transition. Yeah, you don't need someone who talks you down. So that's a very good support there. Thank you, Anne Marie, for sharing that. And Stephen says, let's see, the power of change. I changed my lifestyle and my diet as I had hypertension. I'm slowly getting there and feel overall better person. Overall better person. Sometimes you have to change to survive longer. Yes, great. Good that you mentioned diet, actually. I mean, Tim, you and Chris, you guys, you are changing your diet a lot, and you have made a lot of changes, adapting to certain needs, and there sometimes it feels, or can feel, that change has been forced up on you, up, and you did not want to actually make those changes.
But we did something yesterday and last week and every Tuesday since Pancake Tuesday. On Pancake Tuesday, I couldn't be here to make pancakes. So we had our Pancake Tuesday the Tuesday afterwards. And then a childhood dream took over and said, why can't we have Pancake Tuesday every Tuesday? And
Yes,
because I'm adulting now, right, I can make that change. I have
yes,
power, right? I mean, I can have chalk ice and chips if I want.
yep,
You know,
exactly.
so now we have Pancake Tuesday every Tuesday.
Me too. I love my pancakes. I love making them on the weekends.
I got
So
to
let's see. Nigel says, God tests us in mysterious ways. Only He knows the answer why. Yes,
Okay.
possibly because he was betrayed by the devil and doesn't want to make the same mistake again. Yeah, a good way to put it. And let's see. A view from us says, always spend as much time as you can with your moms and dads, because when they are gone, you can't bring that time back. Yes. Yep. Absolutely agree. Yep.
Wish I had talked to my grandparents and asked about their lives, because I don't even know the names of my grandparents' parents. My great grandparents, I don't know the names.
Yeah.
My brother went through the whole thing of doing the family tree, but he never shared it with us. But that's another story.
Yeah. Yes, asking those questions. They can sometimes feel uncomfortable, especially when it comes to family. Sometimes that can bring up uncomfortable conversations, but those are exactly the conversations that are needed to make worthwhile changes. Denise says, very true, Scott. If there was a thing I could change, I would give up anything to have a last 5 minutes with my mom and dad. Yep. A lot of people say that. And Daniel, it takes a strong man to admit he is vulnerable. Yep. Your honesty and vulnerability shows your strength. You are an amazing young man. The world is a better place for you being in it. Yep. Absolutely agree. Good.
Not to ask Sahar that one.
Good.
Ah,
There's another one from Zelda Carr, if you can find it.
let's see. Where's Zelda? Oh, yeah, I got it, I think. I have had real wake-up call with the loss of 3 school friends out of a cohort of 100 in the last 6 months. I'm trying to work less and have a better work-life balance. Yep. Yes. That's yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
on that one, like I was in hospital a couple of weeks ago. I thought I was having a heart attack. Funny enough, I was taken into hospital for 2 days. I was standing uh, in my office, and I felt my chest contracting, and then I went home and I couldn't breathe. I was like really struggling with pain, and I didn't know where it was coming from. It was like my whole chest and back just contracted. And I was shouting to Sahara, "You need to get me to the hospital. Get me to the hospital. I think I'm having a heart attack." So they kept me there for 2 days, tested my heart, tested everything. They said everything's all right. They said it's stress related. I didn't even think I was stressed, but I guess with the grieving and all the businesses and stuff, I tend to just soldier on. And I realized, I asked myself the question, like, what do I do for fun? And I was like, I couldn't figure out what I do for fun, like, and what do I do to enjoy my life. So myself and Sahara went away there recently for 4 days. It just went up to the north of Buena Vista del Norte, stayed in a hotel, had massages, relaxed. I'm planning a trip this in a few weeks to Fuerteventura. I'm just going to go away on my own for a couple of days, away from everything, try and switch off from work. Just, and it's like given that kind of change, like I need to change exactly what was said there, is to be able to just say, you know what, I need to give myself some time of rest, peace, enjoyment, get back to scuba diving, stuff that I like doing, even hiking, which I've just kind of left on the wayside because I just think, what can I do next business wise, you know?
yeah.
Which is not, it's eventually going to kill me. Like,
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that you are so in tune with your work and you got your work ethics. You don't need to prove that anymore. But then it's good on you that yourself came or are coming to the realization that slowing down is equally as important. It's not. It's especially in relationships. It's easy that someone says, our partner says, "Oh, you got to change," or they want us to change something. But it has to come from your own self to actually do that change in a permanent manner. So,
100%.
and yeah, absolutely. So Oh, so many great comments tonight. Let me see. A view from us. Some people only realize when it's too late that their mom and dad are gone. That are gone. Don't think I could live with that thought. Yeah. Yes. So doing the uncomfortable things while it's still small. and not getting too big of a drama. Yeah. So, oh my God, we are over an hour already. Thank you, Maria. Hope to see you next month again. Next month, on the first Wednesday of the month, we're going to be live again with Food for Thought. And I'm going to go around the table
as well. I think Maria has a YouTube channel as well to do with baking.
Ooh, interesting. Oh, I'm going to check that out.
That's
I
correct.
love baking.
Yep.
I love baking.
But as soon as after this, I'm going to go and subscribe because I did see it.
Yeah.
Not about it, but
okay.
cakes,
Yep.
you know. Who ate all
I'm
the
just gonna say, like, Maria, no pressure, like, but if you've got a baking channel and you do come to Tenerife, we're not expecting brownies, but we'd be disappointed if they weren't brought. And I like them with walnuts.
Oh yeah, and gooey, and really gooey.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. I mean, we wouldn't be we wouldn't think badly, but we would be disappointed.
No pressure at all, Maria. Okay. Nigel says exercise, I think, is the answer, assuming you are fit and able. Even just walk is fine. If fit and able, there are ways to exercise at home. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And those are the questions you got to ask yourself. Am I able, and am I willing to change? And then making those changes on a continuous basis.
I made a real big discovery about exercise, and it was based on a guy that's been all over the internet, and he's trying to sell something. So, but I went to the doctor and I asked about it, and she was telling me about losing weight and stuff, and saying walking and breathing and drinking water. That's all you need to do. You know, any of this anaerobic exercise, like cardio and all that, all it does is burn the fuel in your blood. It doesn't actually burn the fat off you. It's slow. Getting there slowly is gonna make me lose weight. And I started doing it in January. And you look at the food I eat some fantastic food, and I'm losing regularly over 1 kilo a month. So exercise, right?
Wow, man, well done.
With
yes.
the doctor's thing, and not a TikTok. I mean, TikTok's good, but don't listen to the self-professed dietitians on TikTok.
All righty, I'm going to go around the table as we always do, because we are all over an hour already. So who wants to start? Let's start with, we continue with Tim and Christine.
Okay, Chris. The power of change.
I just
Wanted to say so
want to don't work too much, because there's not one person who said just before dying, I wish I would have worked a bit more.
Very good. Yes, thank you. That's very good advice. Huh?
And not only that, but power of change. Change is always for the good. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Something to think about. Yes.
Yeah. Always
Absolutely.
find a positive thing in the change.
Oh yeah, Maria says, thank you, is called Crazy Bake. I would need a kitchen to bake over there. Well, Tim's got a big kitchen.
We'll sort
If
that, no
you-
problem. You just
If you do the dishes afterwards, I think that shouldn't be a problem.
You got to do it before. I haven't done them from yesterday yet.
I'm going to tell you, there's a great invention out there. It's called a dishwasher.
You know, I've got a dishwasher. She just won't get off her ass. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you'll pay for that comment.
Oh my God. I would like to carry on with Ian. Ian the man.
Thank you, Julian. Yeah, thank you everybody for your chat tonight. There's a lot of great comments actually came up there. We will look through them all, and they will be noted. What I will say at the end is, remember, like, subscribe, and share the channel. If you're watching on catch up, feel free to leave a comment on the show, or even if you've been on the show live and you still want to leave a comment, please feel free after the show has finished. And if you wish to contact us, we have email addresses. It's on the description. If you click on the word more, we drop down menu and our email addresses are there. You are welcome to contact us anytime. I'll leave you with a wee thought. The world as we have created it is a process of thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude. Thank you.
Oh, that was lovely. Woo! Standing ovations, Ian. And I'm so happy that in the end you made time for us. And honestly, Dan, I know with your busy schedule, I feel honored that you made time for us. Thank you so much. Your last words.
Thank you very much yourselves for inviting me and having me on, and I appreciate it. I do enjoy the conversations, and it's, yeah, sorry for messing you around on it. I was kind of, I realized that I double booked something, and then I was trying to figure out how I could rearrange everything to come on. So sorry for the last minute messing about. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. What I can say is that, from a guy that feared everything, feared change completely, I've become someone that embraces change. And I know that sometimes you have to step through fear to change things, and you get the biggest growth from it. And if you stay still for too long, you start to regress. So I would say, when something presents itself that needs changing and there's a little bit of fear around it, just face the fear, because you'll grow from it and you become a stronger person within yourself. And sometimes the best way to face fear, and it's different for different people. For me, I replace fear with faith that everything will be okay. Even if I fail on this change, everything will be okay, it'll work out the way it's supposed to. And that's all I really have to say. And thanks a million for having me on. And thanks, Ian, for emailing me many reminders to come on. And fair play to you, man. You don't give up. That's one thing for sure. You're the man.
Yep.
You're the man.
Oh,
thank you very much. And thanks, Chris,
yeah.
and thanks, Tim, and thanks, Julianne, for
Thank you.
always being so pleasant and inviting me on. I genuinely appreciate
Thank you.
it.
You
You're
are
welcome,
also
Dan. Thank you very
scheduled in
much.
for the second half of the year. Don't you worry about that.
Super. Just remind me, Ian, will you?
Oh my God. No, I really did love the discussion. I loved that you guys all were so vivid, talking in the chat, putting in some lovely, lovely comments there. And yes, as Ian said, we will take the time and go through them. As you wish, you can comment after the show if you're watching this on catch up. I know some of you, Gian, for instance, you are always commenting afterwards. So thanks for that as well. We truly appreciate that. And as if you wish, contact us via email. Also, if you wish to maybe be a guest on Food for Thought in the future, live on screen. Maybe that's something out of your own comfort zone that will invite you to get out of your comfort zone. And yes, keep going and keep I want to just say the right environment helps going and making change happen and making change more joyful. It doesn't need to be tedious and hard work. It can be easier surrounded by the right people and the right crowd. And if you find yourself that you don't have that support, which is okay, which happens, we've all been there, I guess, at some point where we did not get the support we needed at that time. You can still find your inner little guide by spiritual practice, and that one is never going anywhere. It stays with you. That's actually something that that's permanent and that's there with you all the time, and is not changing. So I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful month, and I see you all back next month with another great topic and another lovely, jubbly guest. So thank you all, everyone, and
Julian,
cheerio!
can I say one thing before? Can I say one thing before they go?
Yes, sure.
Just one thing. It's really important for me. It's for any of you guys out there, like, because obviously this topic can be, and we talked about death and loss and change. I would say to anyone who's out there who's struggling alone or struggling with grief or struggling with addiction or alcoholism or whatever it is, that there is plenty of people that have been through similar situations or trained professionals that can help guide you through the pain of that time. So don't suffer in silence and don't suffer on your alone. Reach out to someone. I'm sure there's someone in your circle, or if there isn't, reach out to a professional and look for help. Do not suffer alone, because your problem can be helped. It's a matter of getting guidance through it, and I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely. And finding that guidance that is actually helping you to your inner guidance. So that is helping a lot. So again, cheerio, and thank you all for making it here. Thank you. Bye.
Bye all. Bye bye.
Bye.